This podcast is brought to you by the Arete Podcast.
And please vote for our friend Shawan from the Goosebumps Crew podcast to win the Face of Halloween 2025. The link is in the description. Your vote is appreciated.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of season 4 of the part of Your Broadway World Podcast. Today, we have Tony Bancroft with us, who co-directed Mulan, the 1998 Mulan, and you drew Pumbaa as well, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So, let me just start off by saying how excited I really was when I got this interview, because I was like, because Mulan and I share, like, that movie and I share a birth year.
Oh, is that right?
So,
you were born in 1998?
Yep. So I hold that movie very, very close to my heart.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So I wanted to start off with a little intro and career stuff. So you've worked on some iconic Disney films. What originally drew you to animation?
Well, Haley, I have a twin brother, and we both grew up loving to draw. And it started out loving to draw comic strips like Peanuts, Charlie Brown and Snoopy and Calvin and Hobbes and things like that. And we thought we would have a newspaper strip when we got older. And so we were drawing together all the time and just fell in love with creating characters, really. And it wasn't until later on, we were like late high school, early college, that we fell in love with animation and discovered enough that you can make a living at that. You can do that as a job, just like we learned about comic strips. So both he and I changed our life goals to animation and found a school to study at, California Institute of the Arts in Valencia, California. That's where we went.
So then can you also walk us through what a typical day looked like for you both when working at Disney in the 90s?
Yeah, it was a fun time, although we had no clue that what we were working on would be kind of what those films are now: Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King, all of those. We didn't know that we were in a golden, kind of a second renaissance of golden era of Disney animation. But we knew that they were fun projects. They were great characters. The songs were really cool. So, as an animator, and I started out as a junior animator on, say, Beauty and the Beast. That was one of my first ones that I was getting my own scenes on. And I would work with a mentor animator. Will Finn was the guy that I was working with at the time, and he was in charge of Cogsworth, the clock, on Beauty and the Beast. And he always did comedy characters. So I learned a lot from Will, training under him as an animator. I learned a lot about how to make animation funny and make people laugh with animation, which was great because I did Iago with him and Cogsworth, and then I went on to Pumbaa and then Kronk on Emperor's New Groove. So I always did comedy characters, funny characters. But yeah, an average day would be, usually if it's a Monday, I might get a new scene from the directors, and Will, as my mentor, would go into the office to meet the directors with me. And the directors and that was Kirk Wise and Gary Trousdale on Beauty and the Beast. So they would talk about the scene, what they liked about it. Maybe, we like this pose that's in the storyboards, kind of emulate that a little bit with Cogsworth if he I did the sequence in the film where the townspeople all come. Did you see Beauty and the Beast, Haley? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
I grew up on Disney, so I've watched all the.
Oh, okay, good. Well, you remember the scene when the townspeople are like, kill the beast, and they go marching to the castle to kill the beast. This is like towards the end of the film, and all the object characters stand up and fight against them to save the castle and save the beast. And I did the Cogsworth scenes when he comes out, and he's like a swashbuckling pirate, and he's like, ah, ha, 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 and he's got these scissors in one hand and a gun in the other, and he's got this big hat on, and he slides down the banister and pokes LeFou in the bum. So
see, I always thought he looked like Napoleon. He looked like Napoleon.
Like Napoleon. It was like a Napoleon hat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, we did our research to look at like kind of what kind of hats would they have. But it was kind of funny because it was like a French Revolution hat. It was not a Civil War kind of hat or something. And I don't know, we just looked for something big and funny. It's the same hat that, Captain Crunch wears pretty much if in the Captain Crunch commercials. There was just something cartoony and flamboyant about this big hat. And at first, the directors, when they gave it to me, they're like, oh, yeah, do a hat like this. And, they had ideas of what they want the props to look like, the scissors and the guns. But it was Will that told me, okay, now that's funny, but to make it even funnier, go twice as big with the hat. Go really big. And I'm like, my junior animator, I was like questioning it, going, I'm trying to be too logical about it. Like, well, wouldn't it fall on his head if it was like, 3 times bigger than it should be? It would just fall to his shoulders. And he's like, no, it's a cartoon. If you just have it sit there and just kind of wiggle around a little bit, but it never falls, then it's not too big, it's just right. But it was like a human size scissors, human size hat on his head, which made it even funnier. So that's an example of, the directors had one idea, and Will, my mentor, said, let's kick it up a notch and make it even funnier. And that's how I learned. It was like every day on the job, I'm like, oh, that's a cool idea. Oh, great, I'm going to do that. And just animating it gleefully, and then coming up with my own action too, because I wanted him to like come in, and he's ha, ha, ha. I wanted him to look like a crazed lunatic, to be as opposite from his like, very, a disciplined servant kind of guy that he normally was. I wanted him to really like cut loose in that scene. So he's throwing around the gun and he just looks like a barbarian,
I found something interesting too. Like someone had brought up, like when everyone turns into human again, where are our Chip's siblings? Because we don't see them at all.
No, we don't. Maybe they're still in the cupboard. Maybe they're squashed in the cupboard all together, sleeping. I don't know. But it's kind of like on Rescuers Down Under. I worked on that project too, and everybody always asks, like, well, what happened to all the animals in the cages at the end of Rescuers Down Under? Did anybody let them out?
Did they all vanish?
That's the secret of storytelling sometimes. Like, if you don't point a sign at it, point a finger at it, then maybe the audience won't think about it.
But then cut to, I saw a TikTok of someone questioning it. The whole chip thing. So then I wanted to switch ties a little bit with everything that you've done. So you were supervising. You were the supervising animator for Pumbaa, correct?
Yeah.
And in the Lion King, what was your approach to capturing his personality and humor?
Well, a big part of it came from Ernie Zabella, the voice. He was a big guy himself and I went to go see him in Guys and Dolls. He was on Broadway, actually, in a big Hollywood musical called Guys and Dolls. And he was also co-starring with Nathan Lane, who was also Timon, the voice of Timon. Mm-hmm. So me and Mike Suri, the animator of Timon, went out to New York, and we saw them on stage. And there was something about seeing Ernie Zabella, even though he was playing a different part, just to see his physicality and how he was very big and brash and very staccato in his movements, meaning he would kind of fast and then stop and then fast and slow. And it really worked with his bigness, his large form. And I thought that's something I want to capture for Pumbaa. And then the rest kind of came from real warthogs, like studying how do they behave, what's their mannerisms like, how do they run, how do they walk. It's always a combination when we're doing anthropomorphized animals at Disney. It's always a combination of how much human, how much animal. Where do you kind of fall in between when you're animating it?
And then because you also voice, you mentioned too that you've done Kronk as well.
Yeah, Kronk.
So,
Oh yeah, the poison for Cusco, the poison chosen especially to kill Cusco. That poison.
so then same question. It's the same question, but for Kronk, like how did you, you know, approach capturing his personality and humor?
Yeah, now he was totally different from Pumbaa, of course. But again, all of us animators, we listen to the voice first. It's always recorded first. So I had Patrick Warburton, who was a great, I mean, come on, everybody loves him. He's got a great voice. And, that kind of stupid, that kind of, he's not quite getting it, yet he's got a heart of gold. He's not a bad guy at all. And trying to really think about who he is and how he's always trying to please Yzma ultimately, but also not quite clear on what her plans are. Like he never sees, she might have told him about poisoning Cusco and all this kind of stuff, but he just thinks of it almost like a game. Like, okay, yeah, we're going to poison him, but then he's going to come back to life and everything's going to be fine. Like, I don't think he ever really considers that Cusco's going to die, even though they're poisoning him. He just thinks of like, oh yeah, I got to do this thing and I got the poison and I did that. Okay, check. Let's go have a spinach puff. Like that's where his mentality is. It's just, what's the next fun thing that we're going to do together? He was such a rich character to me because he was so stereotypical big dumb guy, himbo as they say online. But more than that, I just loved his kind of heart of gold that would come through too. That you really felt like he's not a bad guy at all. He's just kind of confused about what his purpose is with Yzma.
I mean, not to mention, yeah, he is kind of I wouldn't say dumb, but like he's Kronk. He's Kronk. That's all I'm gonna say. He's Kronk.
Right.
But like not to notice that when Yzma did this and the plant turned into a llama, like I would notice that. I would notice that.
I think, yeah, but he just kind of goes with things. Like, I think he notices it, but it's like, oh, that's weird, huh? It just doesn't think anything more of it. Like, he doesn't put thoughts together like normal people do. He just has like one thought at a time and then kind of just, he's okay with moving on.
And then, of course, you have well-intentioned family and friends who don't have a clue on how the industry works. They're going to be like, well, you've been tired of acting for 6 months and you haven't had a job. You think it's time to, get a real job? And unfortunately, mainstream society doesn't really consider actors as a real occupation.
No, I'm not acquainted with too many actors, but I know quite a few people in the music industry, and it's similar. It's a little different, but it's similar. There's a whole lot of no's, and there's a lot of unpaid or low paid gigs, and a lot of and even then, I've known a few people in the pro wrestling sphere, and it's even worse there. There's a saying amongst pro wrestlers that you drive 200 miles for a handshake and a hot dog, and every time you work, you put your body at risk. But I'm not going to say it's unfortunate because I'm not in that industry, but to me, it seems very unfortunate. But it is something where you have to love it because you're going to pay those dues. It's extremely rare for someone to get catapulted to even, I'd say, mid-level status in a short amount of time. You hear all these stories, even some of the biggest names have been doing it for 15 years before they got to a major,
or before they even got noticed sometimes.
Yeah.
And or you'll hear like, oh, well, so and so became an overnight success, but you don't realize that it took them 20 years to become an overnight success.
And now we're getting to the big questions here. About my favorite movie ever. What was it like to direct Mulan? How did you and your brother divide the work?
Oh, it was actually my co-director was hold on. Why am I forgetting? Barry Cook was the name. Barry Cook was my co-director. And how did we so Barry was on the film first on Mulan, and I finished up Lion King, and then I went on to Hunchback of Notre Dame. And I was going to be in charge of I still have a little animation in there, but I started developing the gargoyles, all three of the gargoyles. And they were going to be my characters to work on as a supervising animator. Well, Barry was kind of a little bit in and over his head. It's always a big job doing an animated feature. Florida, it was their very first feature in Orlando, Florida. So the executives in charge were looking for somebody else to come beside Barry. Barry was great with visual effects, good storyteller, but mostly on the visual effects side. They wanted somebody to balance his talents with animation skill. And so since I had been animating now for 5 years at that point for Disney, they asked me to come alongside and be kind of the animation director, but also work very closely to help develop the story and the film and the personality of Mulan, which was a treat. I mean, it was awesome. I learned, I always think of everything I do in life as a learning experience and a growing time. And I grew so much on that film, for better and for worse. I mean, it was hard. I had times where I was like, I don't know if I'm doing this well. I feel like I'm in the way more than I'm a help as a director on this. And then there was times where I felt like, yeah, I'm in it and I'm driving this thing and it's great. And me and Barry are a great team, working on a great movie, and it was so exciting and I couldn't wait to get out of bed. But it was a roller coaster compared to Lion King, which was every day. It was just fun. It was like a animator's party, working on the Lion King or even Kronk and Emperor's New Groove. But as a director, you have certain responsibilities that weigh on you. The pressure and responsibility of the entire film is on your shoulders. So that's the daunting thing. Working with the executives, knowing everything counts on this. Working with a huge team. We had over 400 people on Mulan on 2 different coasts. So it was a daunting task for sure. But I'm thankful. I'm really thankful that I had that opportunity.
Well, I don't know if it makes you feel bad, but Mulan, like I said, is one of my favorites. I grew up on, and like I said, I share a birthday year with it, and it's incredible, and I love it. It's one of my top 10.
Oh, that's very cool. I thought it was your top 1. Earlier, you were saying it was your favorite film.
It is my favorite film, but it's like in that top 10.
In the top 10 of your 10 favorites. Okay, yeah. I get it.
So it's like number 1 of the top 10.
Well, it's very special to me too, Haley. I'm a father of girls. I have 3 daughters. At the time I was working on Mulan, I had 2 daughters. So one was born on Lion King. So she was probably like 2 years old when I was working on Mulan. And then I had another girl that was born during Mulan. And so for me, I always wanted to help be a part of creating a very strong Disney heroine. One that didn't need a man to save her, one that knew what she wanted all along and just wasn't allowed to be who she was inside. That's really the theme of Mulan is, it's when will I be able to be who I am and be allowed to be that is really kind of the theme. So, and which I think was a very ahead of its time kind of theme too, a very progressive theme for a female heroine at Disney. So I'm really proud to have been a part of that team that brought that around, because I know from my daughters, they love Mulan too, and they have a Disney heroine that they could go, oh, she did that, and look what she accomplished on her own.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand why people are like, well, these live action remakes, they fix you know, like uh they fix things that the older movies did that, you know, but it's just like no, I feel like they make it worse. I did not like the live action Mulan.
Yeah. I mean, I won't say that I think it had some issues for sure. I'm not going to say that I hated it, but it was, um, I feel like the two films can stand on their own, but I
Yeah,
don't feel like they're really the same Mulan.
yeah. They didn't have Mushu though, and I love Mushu.
Yeah. My twin brother Tom animated Mushu.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
So
So Tom was the supervising animator of Mushu on that. So I got to be his boss on that film.
ooh.
Another perk.
Speaking of Mushu, Eddie Murphy's Mushu is so memorable. It was like so memorable. What went into bringing that character to life?
Um, yeah, there was a lot of iterations of Mushu. Like at first, it was going to be we had two characters in that role, and they were called Yin and Yang. They were both dragons, but they were opposites,
Mhm.
and they fought all the time. That was very early on. Then it became a two-headed dragon, very much like Quest for Camelot, which they stole that from us, basically. But yeah, two-headed dragon for a while, and which fought, but it any of those iterations, it really pulled away from Mulan, and we wanted Mushu to end up having a relationship and a back and forth with Mulan, not with another dragon. So we cut that idea and just made Mushu one dragon, but with a chip on his shoulder. He had something to prove. The Great Stone Dragon and all the ancestors think that he's a big joke. He's made mistakes in the past. You get that from the conversation they have in the beginning of the movie. So he really wants to prove himself with Mulan. And so at first he's not doing it because he loves her or he cares for her. Even he doesn't even really know her, but he joins her and convinces her to go on this big trek because he's gonna make something of her. If he can make her a hero, then he'll look good, right? And that's his turn. That's what I love about Mushu is he does have a soft heart. He's not a bad guy at all. He makes some stupid choices sometimes, some bad choices, but ultimately he comes around to realize, no, I need to help her no matter what. Not because I'm going to get a trophy or get a special place in the ancestral bays, ancestral tower. I want to help her because I like her and I want her to succeed. And that's ultimately what wins out in the end is his attitude to help her.
And I feel like it was the best choice to pick Eddie Murphy as the voice of Mushu, just
Yeah.
because he's hilarious on his own, but as Mushu, he's like top tier hilarious.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize this, but when we cast Eddie Murphy, we were casting an old Eddie Murphy who was in our mind as Axel Foley from Beverly Hills Cop. That was one of his first big breakthrough funny roles. But a lot of your generation hasn't even seen Beverly Hills Cop to see who that Eddie Murphy is. That's what we had in our mind. Because Eddie, at the time we cast him, was kind of on a downtrodden in his kind of a downward spiral in his career. He hadn't done anything big. It was before The Nutty Professor came out. It was before Shrek. We were the first one to cast him in an animated film, but we were taking on a guy that was he needed something that was going to pull him out and make him popular again. And I think Mulan was a big help in his career too. And I think he knew that, he hadn't done anything that his kids could see. And like a lot of voiceover talent, especially famous ones, they tend to take these jobs doing voices because they know, well, at least I'll have one film. This is what he said to us too. He's like, at least I'll have one film that my kids can watch.
Yeah, because I don't really think that they'd be able to watch Shrek at the ages they were.
Well, at the time, like I said, we got him before Shrek, so he wasn't
Yeah.
even thinking. Shrek wasn't even in his mind. It was the past
Yeah.
stuff that he had done, like 48 Hours and Beverly Hills Cop, all these films
All
that
of those, yeah.
you've never seen those, I'm sure, but
No.
they're pretty racy.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
more rated R.
Looking back now, what moment from Mulan are you most proudest of?
Wow. I mean, besides what I just talked about with creating a strong Disney heroine, um, I think it's probably, seeing the staff of artists and animators come together like never before to create what I think is a real masterpiece in Disney animation. And I say that only because, not because I was the director, but because I worked with such great artists on that. Our production designer made a bold look that was, I think, very dynamic and great. I think we had animators that were passionate about their characters that did a great job. My brother, on Mushu, I thought really rose and leveled up for that movie. So many people did. I learned a lot along the way too. So just the process of growth and learning that I feel like that whole studio in Florida went through was pretty tremendous because that studio had never animated a feature before. It helped out did parts of Lion King, parts of Beauty and the Beast and Rescuers Down Under and mini films, but just parts of them. This was their first film that was like all theirs. And it meant so much to that studio and that group of artists to have that responsibility and that opportunity that I'm probably most proud of that.
And then I wanted to talk about your mentoring and teaching.
Yeah.
You've taught and mentored young animators. What's the biggest advice you give them?
It's usually about the animation industry. I like to make sure I tell them up front. It's a lot of work. And if you really are only in this to become rich and famous, then you're probably in the wrong career. And if you're in this because I have to work for Disney, that's my all-time dream, then you shouldn't do it because that's like winning the lottery. Not everybody works for Disney. So can you be happy because you just love telling stories through animation? If you really love animation, you love it not because it's Disney animation or Pixar animation or Sony animation or, fill in the blank for whatever studio. You love it because it's exciting to you. It's creative, it's artistic, and it's great storytelling. And you want to bring great stories to life. And that's to me what a real animator is. And I try and teach my students to think like a real animator.
Because, I know for my experience, I would love to work for Disney. And this is because I've always wanted to voice a Disney character. I wanted to be a Disney character because I'm handicapped. I'm a wheelchair user, and we don't have one as a Disney princess and I would love to be the first. I would love to be the first.
That's cool. I hope you get that opportunity for sure. I'm sure this podcast helps you to meet all kinds of new people that's great. I think what you're doing is awesome.
Thank you. You're my first Disney animator.
Oh, well, see, it's all downhill from here.
I don't think so.
I should say uphill from here. Well, I love what you're doing. And the show is called Your Broadway World Podcast, right?
Yeah. Part of Your Broadway World.
Part of Your Broadway World Podcast. So
it's a mix of
talk about the Broadway shows, the theater shows?
No, we talk, it's like a mix. Like sometimes I have people from Disney on, like I had people that worked in the parks, and then I had people, that were part of like the Disney soundtracks. Like and then sometimes I've had people that do Broadway shows that are tied to Disney, and all that
Yeah.
fun stuff.
That's cool. How fun.
So then a couple more questions. What excites you most about the future of animation?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, especially in a day and age where people are talking about AI and AI can do animation better and faster and all that than real animators. And it gets kind of depressing and down. And I try and keep my students encouraged about the future of animation because I think there's still a lot of stories that haven't been told and a lot of cool styles of animation that haven't even been, tried yet. So I'm always excited about where things are going, and it's not about the technology at all. Because I grew up just drawing pencil and paper animation, and that's how I experienced my characters like Pumbaa and Kronk was drawing right on paper and flipping it, very old school. And I know there's a desire for that too in the future. I think there's a lot of young people growing up that want those 90s type animated films like Disney was doing with Aladdin and Pocahontas and Lion King and all those. So I'm encouraged to think that wherever there's a need, wherever there's a desire from an audience, that there should be people there to answer that call by making a film that is something new and different, not the same thing, of course. Like I'm a big fan of K-pop Demon Hunters. I think that looks great. And I think the soundtrack is awesome. I mean, you can't help but love those songs, right? And but the style of it and the look of it, and I like a lot of what Sony is doing. Sony Pictures, every film they make is unique and different. So that's what I'm excited about in the future is trying new things and not just regurgitating, things of the 90s that we did way back when, but finding new and exciting ways of telling stories.
And then I do have some fun, like personal fun questions I
Yeah.
would like to ask. If you could bring one animated character to life at a Disney park, who would it be and why?
Oh, well, selfishly, I'm gonna say Pumbaa. Because he's on all fours, you don't really see Pumbaa and Timon is a lot easier to see as a walk around character.
Yeah.
He's on two legs. Pumbaa, you don't really see him very much. And I don't know if he's really a walk around character at all. Maybe you know better than I do. But I think I would love to see him like kind of come to life and so that he could be at the parks. And he's so fun and just positive and jokey that I think kids would love him and he would do really well at the park.
I would love to see Lumiere, Cogsworth, and Chip and Mrs. Potts.
That would be great.
We've only seen them in the show.
That's true, huh?
Yeah.
They've never had a walk around. Yeah. Huh.
And then Pumbaa, we've only seen that animatronic sitting on top of Pride Rock.
Yeah. He's part of like the floats and stuff,
The
right?
floats and in the Lion King show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
It would be hard to be Lumiere. I'm just thinking about the costume. You'd have to have somebody in a costume that always was holding their arms up.
well, that's why they have breaks. The characters have breaks. They could take breaks and not
They can
have
take
their
breaks,
arms up.
so yeah, put their arms down for a little while. I get it. I'm with you. I'm ready to see those characters too.
And then my next question.
Yes. Is this another hard one? That was a
No.
hard one.
No, this is. Well, I'll let you decide. Is there a dream project or character you still hope to tackle?
Oh, a dream project or character. Boy. Oh man. I mean, is this like a regret kind of thing? Like I wish I would have been a part of Lilo and Stitch kind of thing, because that's a film that I didn't work on that I wish I would have worked on. I love Lilo and Stitch. I love the look of it, the style of it. The characters were all super fun. I would have loved to have animated Stitch, the character Stitch, because he's a comedy character and I do comedy stuff. So that and the genie from Aladdin is another character I wish I would have been able to even just a couple scenes of animate. But I often thought of here's a wish of something that never happened that I kind of wish would happen, maybe in a sequel. Bolt, the movie Bolt.
Ooh.
I think that's a really underrated movie. I love the character design, the look of it, but I think it would be better in 2D animation than computer animation like it was.
Mm.
Like I think that would look really good
Mm.
as a hand-drawn film. So if they made a sequel, it'd be cool, like to do it all in 2D animation.
Mm. And then I have another question for you that's not written down, but I just thought of it. The rumor that 2D animation's coming back.
Oh yeah, what do you think of
True?
that, Haley?
True, yeah, or true?
Well, what do you think it is? Do you think it's true or false?
I hope it's true because I need this. I need that back. Okay, I need it back. I don't like the way that these new movies look. I need 2D animation back. They looked cuter.
You know what? I couldn't agree with you more, Haley. That's my hope and wish too. I don't work for Disney anymore. I haven't for like 20 years, to tell you the truth. I have friends there that are still there working, not doing 2D. They're all doing CG animation, but I've heard that they're playing with the idea of doing it, but there's no project set yet where it's going to have, a full feature done in 2D animation that I know of. But I see those rumors online too, like you do, and I'm like, yes, that would be so great. I hope that's true. But I don't know if it is. I really don't. I haven't heard of anything through the grapevine that's going to be all 2D.
I just need it to be true, just for my own mental health. I need it to be true.
I could be wrong, Haley, so let's hold on to hope, okay?
Yeah. So then finally, as we wrap up here, where can listeners follow your work and learn from you next?
Well, if somebody wants to study animation, I work at Lipscomb University. I'm the head of the animation program and that's in Nashville, Tennessee. Lipscomb and here I'm messing up the name. Lipscomb University is the name of the college, and you can find that online. Come on down. There is a tryout. You have to show a portfolio, so you have to be able to be accepted into the program. It's a very select program, which is what makes it strong, I think, too, is that we get some of the very best to come in and then we sharpen their skills even more. I'm on Instagram all the time. My brother and I both have Instagrams. I'm Pumbaa Guy because I animated Pumbaa. I'm Pumbaa Guy on Instagram and Facebook. And then my brother's Tom Bancroft 1, the number 1. So you can follow both of us. And we have a movie coming out, Haley, that Tom and I did, 2D animation. It's a small independent film about Jesus. It's a spiritual movie, and it's called Light of the World. Have you heard of it?
No.
Oh,
and I'm
my
actually
goodness.
very excited about that.
Haley, it's coming out September 5th in theaters near you. So go that opening weekend to Light of the World. I'm super proud of it. My brother and I did it together. Tom directed with a friend, and I was the head of animation and head of story on it. And it's about Jesus Christ, light of the world, and it's through the eyes of John, the Apostle John, who is said to be the youngest. So we made him like 15 years old. He's like a kid trying to discover who the Messiah is. That's the whole story. And but it's funny and it's fun. It's entertaining. We did it like a 90s kind of storybook style, like we would have done at Disney back in the 90s. So it has that heart to it. Kind of a buddy film between John and Jesus too, I'll say. And I think people are going to really like it. Everybody that's seen it so far has been very hyped about it, which we're excited for. And yeah, go support it September 5th at a theater near you. Look for Light of the World. And there's a trailer online. So after we do this, you can look it up and there's a trailer on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm very excited for that. I will make sure to put that in my calendar to go watch that.
Yes, take a bunch of people, fill up a theater. As you do.
I hope you guys do that too.
Oh yeah.
So I want to say thank you so much for coming on. I'm so glad that you and I were able to do this because I've been wanting to do this for a while.
I'm so glad we were able to talk, Haley, and I think you're super cool. I like what you're doing too.
Thank you.
We need more fan-focused podcasts out there, I think, especially about Disney. And I'm sure you debate the good and the bad and all that kind of stuff on the podcast too. But you're keeping it positive, and our world needs more joy and animation, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Yeah. And so thank you for coming on, Tony. And that being said, we are off, and I will see you with Eternal Stars later. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Tell me about this, Jesus.
Your taxes. Can you pay them or not?
Yes, of course.
Oh no!
My son, John, is right here with your money.
3 days, double what you owe. And if you can't pay, we take your father to prison.
I brought someone who can help. This is Jesus.
Never heard of him.
He's helping people. I want to be a part of that. This is my chance to show up.
No, we've talked about this. It's just a story.
Papa?
We're gonna need a bigger boat!
I knew a guy who ate those.
The baptizer?
With the honey and the wild hair.
Ooh, that gets me every time!
Tell me about this, Jesus.
Jesus is no Messiah. He's nothing.
And sometimes evil men silence those who speak the truth.
What is truth?
This is not the end. It's the beginning.